Okay, this is video number 2. Let me read my quick disclaimer. All the opinions on these videos are my own and not that of any other person, organization, band, or YouTube. I claim no expertise on any subject which might be contained on these videos other than that of my own experience. The purpose of these videos is to share what I have learned to date about playing the Highland bagpipes and drums. These videos are not a replacement for a competent instructor, which I cannot stress enough is required to properly learn to play the Highland bagpipes or drums. The viewer accepts all responsibility for how they use the material presented. Go Arkansas State University. Okay, this topic of this video is going to be, so your child wants to learn to play the bagpipes or drums. An introduction for the pipe band and competition parent. And interesting enough, that is actually the title of a little pamphlet which I have written. I was going to come up with just a 2 or 3 page little pamphlet to give out to the parents either of the 2 programs that I'm involved with, the Northeast Arkansas Caledonian Pipes and Drums, a new small band over in Jonesboro, Arkansas, and the Delta Pipes and Drums in Memphis, Tennessee, which is dedicated and focused on youth 18 and under and competition. So I started writing this little pamphlet, and when I got done, it was 31 pages long. I'm currently in the stage of sending it out to a few people that I have hold in high esteem in the piping world, and getting their feedback on the content just to make sure that it's fairly accurate and usable, and I'm not going to tick anybody off or get sued, hopefully. So I've only got 10 minutes in each one of these videos, so I'm just going to use my pamphlet and hit a few of the high points of it. If you want a copy of this, I am going to be putting it out in the public domain as a PDF file. I'll probably have them on a couple of websites. But let's say around mid-late September of 2008, if you want a copy of it, send me an email, put in the title of it, my kid wants to play pipes or drums, and I will respond either with the file or with a link to where the file is. My email address is fireham, F-I-R-E-H-A-M, @yahoo.com. Again, it's fireham, Foxtrot India Romeo Echo, Hotel Alpha Mike, @yahoo.com. And there'll be a lot more in there. I've got a quick introduction. I've got a page on what we as instructors and bands expect from the student. It boils down to respect and attention. I don't care whether you're a child that's going to be learning, a youth, or an adult, but in this case we're talking about a child. They're probably going to be under 18 years old. The instructor is probably going to be over 18. Maybe I'm old school, but anyone older than me is my elder, and I am expected to respect my elders, and I hold those younger than me to the same thing. So if you have a child under 18 and their instructor is over 18 or older than that, whoever's learning, please impress upon them respect and attention. Whoever is the instructor, even if it's just for one class or whether it's ongoing, they're there because they want to be and they have something to pass on. Your child, for the duration of that class, be it 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour or more, they need to pay attention to the instructor as a sign of respect. The student will attend all practices and lessons possible. If they can't, notify your instructor or somebody from the band or organization you're learning from. Student will be diligent in their homework and practice. The majority of the work in learning to play the pipes or drums is not done in a 30-minute lesson. It's done at home consistently every day, anywhere from 15 minutes or more, however much the child can handle and keep attention with. So they get assigned work. They need to be very diligent and consistent about doing that work, so when they get to the next lesson they can move on to something new. If they haven't done their homework, they're going to keep having to repeat the same things, and it's going to slow down their process and their progress, and if they happen to be in a class, they're going to fall behind everybody else and get frustrated. Students are encouraged, and at least in our band, to attend everything the band does, unless it's even a paid gig, if at all possible. Part of the learning is how to play the instrument. Part of it is how to act within the band and to see how the band does a gig. How long do they tune? Where do they tune? How do they act? How are they in front of the public? interest and enthusiasm. And I put in here, especially for those that are under 21 and 18, depending on where you live and the substance, alcohol, absolutely no alcohol, drugs, or tobacco permitted to be used by or in the possession of a minor at any band function, nor on the property of a host facility. At least in my bands, if a kid under 18 gets caught with tobacco, anyone under 21 gets caught with alcohol, or anyone of almost any age gets caught with illegal drugs, they're gone. It's unappealable at that moment. Turn your stuff in, you're gone. What we expect from the parents, this is for you. A lot of the same things, but we expect you to be the driving force on some of this. First of all, involvement and interest. The best predictor of the kids' success is one or more parents who are very interested and very involved in getting them there. Kids tend not to want to practice. You've got to, remind them they have an obligation and they need to get their practice done in. Make sure that they do attend. Make sure they put in their practice. Make sure they obtain the materials that are required by the instructor. Make sure that the rules and etiquette of the band are enforced at home. Otherwise, we want the child, the student, to be getting the same message from the instructors and from the parents. Just like two parents need to be giving the same message to the child, we need the parents and the instructor of the band to be giving the same message. And of course, you're going to have to spend some money. We'll get to that, and a lot of that's covered in the book. Another little interesting thing that comes up from time to time is you as a parent or another family member, spouse, brother, sister, cousin, uncle, whatever, may be an extremely competent musician on another instrument. Unless they are competent on the pipes, please recognize the pipes are a completely different instrument. Even if they're a woodwind player, even if they play oboe, bassoon, saxophone, pipes are completely different. So before any family member or friend who plays another instrument tries to instruct the child or, God forbid, do any maintenance on the pipes based on what they know for their instrument, have them get with or contact the instructor or somebody from the band to see if what they're thinking about doing is appropriate for the bagpipes. Just today, I've got a 9-year-old boy, and his dad is apparently a very, very good saxophone player. The child had a practice chanter. It was a little bit loose. So Dad took some beeswax and put on the hemp so that it would not be so loose. Was it effective? Yes. Was it correct? Not really, because now it's so tight that he couldn't even get it apart. So for his lesson today, the first 10 to 15 minutes, I ended up taking all the hemp off and then completely re-hemping it with fresh hemp. So, and that's just on the practice chanter. It can get even worse on the pipes. Pipes and drum, you start on a practice chanter and you graduate to the full stand of pipes, and that's something that should be earned. I know the kid's going to want their pipes immediately. Please, please, please wait till the instructor indicates that it's time to start looking at pipes and buying them. Don't go out and buy even a practice chanter and tutor book before you have your instructor and have your instructor tell you what to buy. If you buy something cheap, it may not even be usable, or you may buy a tutor book that the instructor's not familiar with, and that's just going to be a problem. Get your instructor, then do what your instructor says. If they're a good instructor, you can follow their advice. If their advice is not worth following, they're not a good instructor. Go back and see the other video that I have on choosing an instructor for information on that. Otherwise, please get in contact with me if you want, and I will get you a copy of this book.